they told us that we are never ever to fly over that hole and we are never to discuss it again. What is that about? And does that have anything to do with all these other pieces that keep emerging? That there might be something archaeological in Antarctica?
According to ancient astronaut theorists, this was not the first time a massive hole has been spotted in the ice of Antarctica. Famous polar explorer Admiral Richard Byrd allegedly reported seeing a massive entrance to an underground world during his 1947 expedition to the South Pole.
Admiral Byrd made a lot of unusual statements, allegedly talking about a large opening at the South Pole that went deep inside the Earth, ice-free, and was inhabited by various sorts of...
Whatever's happening in and around Antarctica is really strange. Multiple articles have released recently talking about how China and Russia have been deepening their cooperation in Antarctica, which could lead to certain breaks and restrictions or them breaking the Antarctic Treaty altogether. Coincidentally, it's also being reported that the ice in Antarctica is not only melting, but that flowers and grass are growing there at a fast rate. These points have led to some speculation that there may be a deeper reason as to why other countries are all of a sudden becoming active in Antarctica, even to the point where they may be willing to break the Antarctic Treaty. Swiftly, for those who may not know, the Arctic Treaty is an agreement signed back in 1957 by every country in the world, which basically states that they will keep Antarctica as a protected land. This agreement has been firmly upheld for the last 65 years, but now that it's being threatened, people are coming up with theories as to why this is happening all of a sudden. The first theory states that as Antarctica's ice is melting, it's revealing ancient ruins or ancient technology that other countries want to get their hands on. The second theory comes from the idea that instead of Antarctica being an ice continent, it's actually an ice wall that encompasses all the lands that we live on, with more lands and continents beyond it. According to this theory, as the ice is melting, it's creating access points through this apparent ice wall, which other countries and continents want to explore for research and resource purposes.
Yes. It wouldn't be 2024 unless Antarctica was turning green, of course. Why didn't I think of that? Oh, this happens every 7 billion years. Stop it, all right? Same thing with my Sahara Desert video. Guys, it's obvious that the world is cooked, okay? I know it sucks, it's our generation, but it is what it is. Jesus said that the generation that sees Israel become a nation will see all of the Bible prophecies fulfilled. Jesus gave a parable, and he said that every high place will become a valley, and every valley will become a mountain. So what he's saying is, things that you knew to be very high would become low. Things that you knew to be very low would become high. And so you have people speaking about a wealth transfer, that the rich will become poor, the poor will become rich, whatever. That's carnal. But guys, the cold places will become warm, and the warm places will become cold. The deserts will become rainforests, and vice versa. That's what we're watching right now. Jesus Christ is coming back, and things are just going to keep getting more hectic. So if you don't know Jesus Christ, pick up a Bible and probably start reading Matthew. A lot of people will get confused with Genesis, but if you're a trooper and you're a reader, start with Genesis. And I hope that you find a relationship with Jesus. Amen.
Right, so the Antarctica UFO retrieval footage just got a hell of a lot deeper, alright? For those of you that don't know, a bit of footage got released from Antarctica about a egg-shaped UFO retrieval, and this is it swinging here above a mountain range. You've got the long tether there, the object in question swinging back and forth here due to the air current, and the helicopter is travelling this direction, alright? I'm going to invert the footage. So inverting the footage here, we can see a bit clearer of the mountain range, the potential snow, and where this was filmed during the night, because it was filmed on night vision optics. So here's the object in question swinging back and forth. Unbelievable. This was filmed in the range of the Queen Elizabeth range near the McMurdo station, apparently. So here's the Queen Elizabeth range where this was filmed, and the helicopter was flying across towards the McMurdo station. And if you go onto Google Earth and zoom into this whole entire area, it's completely pixelated. You can't see nada, which is weird. And it's going to get crazy, alright? So the person that identified the location of where this was filmed was the OP himself on 4chan, the anonymous poster. And you may ask why. Why are they posting on 4chan? Well, it's in the name. It's anonymous. It can't be traced, and it's just... that's it. So if you want to put anything encrypted and weird on there, 4chan's your place. And the footage in question was recorded by the UN Office for Outer Space Affairs, UNOOSA, apparently. It's right here, and this is what OP was talking about, right? Right, Antarctica is a major place of interest, and it goes all the way back to World War II. Even when the Nazi regime was about, everyone was all over this thing. And there's reports of UFOs, civilizations, crazy cave-like structures, all these madness things that are supposedly there and being uncovered, and there's a whole cloud shrouding around this area where people are just kind of like, especially government powers, are just like, no, don't worry about it, you know. So 2016, there was a major influx of celebrities that wanted to go to Antarctica all of a sudden. Bit weird. And Buzz Aldrin went there, and apparently during his trip he posted a tweet that said, "We are all in danger, it is evil itself." And then apparently this tweet then got deleted. There's half and half here, right? Half the people are saying this is fake and doesn't exist, and the other half are saying that this is real, and people are basically saying they've proved it. But if you type in the tweet from Buzz Aldrin and have a look, you'll find all sorts of things. But it's interesting either way. And during 2020 and 2022, like in the last video, a Russian vessel went there, a research vessel, and apparently at some point retrieved some sort of strange off-world anomalous artifacts. What does that mean? I don't know. And if you go to the 4chan thread and just read through the whole entire thing, I'm going to put all the links down below, mate, it is kind of weird. I mean, you got to kind of question some stuff. I mean, there's, I don't know. I mean, for this instance, on 4chan, someone asked, what were you doing in Antarctica in November 2022? The OP replied, retrieving an ancient artifact or technology. We found a live non-human sentient being inside of a coffin-like pod. It wasn't using cryogenics, but it had kept the entity alive. Which sounds absolutely like something out of Stargate and mental, but I mean, given reports and all these sort of different things, and if you look at the thread and look at more what he's saying, bruh. And here's another little screenshot. So next question, when someone's asked him, who are you? Where did you get this video? Antarctica, November 2022. Did you take the video? No. And that's when I told you about the people that actually filmed it were this space affair affiliation type program. Why does it look extremely similar to the News Nation video? Same civilization and same purpose. And basically he's a little bit, keeping things a little bit discreet. So when it comes to the relation of the UFO object in question, he says this thing seems to be of ancient origin. There is no way of getting inside of it, but it seems to be hollow. It's not that heavy, the material is unknown, but it's some kind of metal, right? So again, is this the element thing that Bob Lazar was talking about, of element 115, I think it's called, but quote me if I'm wrong. But this is a element that we know exists, but can't quite fabricate or materialize, you know? And then he goes on to say that he worked for the Department of Defense, same task force J Barber, no, seems to be of ancient origin, there is no way of getting inside of it, right, and that's basically what we said. And if I move to the side, why did you put civilization in quotes? What was found inside the cave was more like a military base than a civilization. I don't know what these non-human entities were doing. This place was abandoned. And then here's another little bit, but mate, it goes on for ages, so just go onto the 4chan thread and read through this stuff, alright? Just read this. Got any proof of documentation it's actually happened besides the video? No, right? Bit of an issue, but I mean, read through it. I mean, on a historical level, Antarctica had amazing rainforests about 90 million years ago, and then previously to that, which is, humanoids have been on this planet for probably about, 7 million years in recorded history of what we discovered, but we don't know. We really don't know much before that, civilization wise. Like, I mean, every day or to every week to every month, there's something coming up which kind of then disproves someone's previous thought process on civilization and the history of life. But yeah, who knows what the hell's there? Antarctica's a big grey area. There's all sorts of theories flying around, I don't know, man. Mate, just go look into it. You guys have a read. You let me know what you think. But, I mean, apparently there's more stuff to come, and it's going to be released. Stay tuned.
Antarctica is absolutely terrifying, and I don't ever want to go there at all. Now, in my other video, we talked about what we truly believe is in some parts of Antarctica, which is what Admiral Byrd found in the 1900s before he mysteriously was unalive, and that's lush green land. You heard me right, in Antarctica, even though we were always led to believe that it was all ice. But let's talk about the part that is ice. Like, let's really get into that because it's so scary, guys. First of all, let's bring back in the Leviathan. Are we just gonna forget the fact that I think it was 2020, Antarctica mysteriously started melting. Then the anomaly popped up, which was this big blob that started in Antarctica, swam up past Africa, and I believe stopped in the Atlantic Ocean. There's a theory going around that that anomaly is due to the colossal biblical sea creature emerging from the icy waters. And I just think it's funny that the US started detonating 40-ton bombs in the ocean randomly, just for funsies, just for practice. Seems like y'all are a little scared about something. Give us the tea, because we want to know. And let's not forget what else is in the Atlantic Ocean: the Bermuda Triangle, where there's said to be portals and strange things in the ocean. I don't think we need that mixing with the Leviathan. It's so much going on, guys. It's so much. Also, the fact that they discovered an ancient river under Antarctica that they say dates back 34 million years ago, even though we know the Earth isn't even that old. In a nutshell, it's old, and it's 300 feet long. And it was even confirmed that scientists speculate that a prehistoric creature emerged from those ancient rivers. Besides all that, let's talk about the fact that there's only 1,500 to 5,000 people on Antarctica that live there. Most of these people being scientists. Now, Antarctica is literally the size of 2 Australias put together. And the Rothschilds, one of the richest families in the world, have an island located there. And there is a treaty between all the countries. No one is to explore or take anything off of Antarctica. You're telling me we got wars, we got world hunger, and this is what y'all can agree on? Seriously? And to top it all off, this is what it looks like at night, okay? Can you guys genuinely imagine being in pitch black darkness in the ice? You know what? I'm gonna turn my light off so y'all could really, get the chills. Excuse me? No, it's a no for me. I just know it's some crazy things going on. I know they're hiding something. Whether it be the fact that there's Greenland in Antarctica, or the fact that they know that the Leviathan is loose, or an explanation about the pyramids they found there, but nobody wants to talk about that. Guys, it's just, I could go down this rabbit hole all night. But I digress. As always, make sure you like and follow and comment down below what you think.
Right, so the image you're seeing behind me here is the egg photo that was released that apparently was shot underground in Antarctica of a strange UFO that was, discovered, okay? If you that are going to sit there and go, it's AI, this is not real, hold up. So I run a few images through the AI generated image checker, and here's one that says no tampering. Here's 2 that says no tampering. You can pause it and read it if you like. And here's a 3rd one that says no tampering. Very interesting. To the OP, apparently the egg didn't have any sort of symbolisms on them, to his knowledge, right? But if we check a little bit closer, look at the Egyptian hieratic numerals, I think they are. They're kind of dotted all around, and there's your imagery here, and they are pinpointed to the markings on this shell that people thought it was actually chips. But lo and behold, it's something more. And here's another image of the craft itself. People are like, oh, this was a refueling cone on the thing. But if you rewatch the footage, I'll pull it here as well, the thing swinging, that is not a refueling cone. I don't care what any of you say, that is not. It's something completely different. And here's an AI rendition of, or a photo generation of what this thing would look like. Because it looks like it's strapped into a harness, right? Yes. And in the original piece of footage, they say, why do the photos have so much noise and gain? Night vision, and these aren't the raw files, there were photos taken from monitor and undisclosed location. Got any more photos or videos of inside the cage? Yes, but legally this is as far as he can go for now, but there will be more coming apparently, right? Can you go deeper into the corpus, or whatever that says, Hermeticum? According to him, the way Hermes, I'm not even going to try and pronounce that, speaks about God, or the one in the most profound way a human can describe the divine, he believes that books like the Bible and the Quran are merely reflections of the humanity projected onto God. I'm not even going to say anything on that. I'll let you guys in the religious world try and figure that one out. Why didn't you mention the Battle of Basel 1566? What was the different from the Nuremberg? It was not related to the creators, it was between other races. Remember, we did and still have illegal races coming here. So he speaks about possible 2 different races that are here. You've got ones that want to be secret and want to remain kind of quiet, and obviously they're observing, which might be all the sort of things that are like the orbs or that we're encountering. And there's ones that are saying that the creators are the bad guys. So, I don't know. And all of this stuff apparently was shot around the Queen Elizabeth Range in Antarctica. This is where all the weirdness happens. And I'm telling you what, right, you go to Google Earth, you zoom in, you can't see anything. I know people are like, yeah, but it's way out the way. Right, Google Earth sees everywhere on the map and you can see stuff at a high quality. And every time there's something of suspicion that the public then gain attention to, they just pixelate it out. You can't see anything. And if you was going to do anything anyway, secretly, and, you know, poke a few fingers up some ET butts and stuff, this would be the place that you would want to go to, dog, because you ain't getting nothing in and out there without their say-so. Government powers. I mean, OP's dialogue to this whole ordeal about them apparently seeing a being that was found in a coffin-like, non-cryogenic thing, that he arose up and woke himself up and was aware of the people there, something along those lines, and it's absolutely crazy, man. It sounds like something straight out of Stargate, right? And apparently this was like a Nordic-looking being in nature. He was completely naked. There was a whole lot of other stuff involved as well. Bro, the rabbit hole goes deeper, and if I carry on going on, like, I'll be here all night. So I'm gonna leave a few links down below. You guys have a look and a read, and just let me know your thoughts. Hieroglyphs, heretic numbers.
There are no aliens. There's just the civilizations that live beyond the ice wall.
The hell you talking about?
See, they want you to believe that there's these alien civilizations out in the depths of outer space that may or may not be coming to get you, but it's just a facade. The reality is that there are simply civilizations beyond what we can observe, beyond the ice wall, right here on planet Earth, but just in regions we have been kept from seeing, kept from knowing about. These civilizations beyond the ice wall, as you could imagine, have technology far beyond what we can fathom, and so when they fly above us in their inconceivably advanced ships, we kind of misconstrue it with the idea of quote-unquote aliens from space, when in reality it's just advanced civilizations from Earth. But of course, the oligarchs want you to be scared and have this fear of the great unknown, and so they peddle this narrative about outer space and alien encounter theories. The whole time all of these other advanced beings are right here on Earth.
So a whistleblower revealed that they was part of a secret operation to retrieve an egg-shaped UAP. And where did all this transpire? In Antarctica. Where do you think? So allegedly these group of people went to Antarctica, to a cave in Antarctica, to a cave in Queen Elizabeth's Range in Antarctica. And allegedly, when they got to this cave had hieroglyphs and petroglyphs on the walls and on the egg. And allegedly, they found an alien sleeping. Anytime and every time that I hear of anything going on in Antarctica, it always gives me the chills, because it's something about Antarctica. Now, I don't know if this is 100% true story, but what I do know is everything that I am seeing right now, you can search and you can see the pictures and you can see the egg and you can see etc., etc., etc. Now, you got to remember, anybody that's familiar with this topic, we just had people come out and say that they were egg-shaped UAPs. So once again, this story is sounding very, very familiar. But to anybody that's interested, do some research and jump back in these comments. I'm out.
This morning at 8:05, and then again a little after 10 o'clock, an anonymous poster on 4chan said that in Antarctica, they were part of secret operations to retrieve an egg-shaped UAP or UFO in a cave in Antarctica in Queen Elizabeth's Range that had petroglyphs or hieroglyphs on the egg and on the wall of the cave, and also an alien was sleeping inside of this pod. Now, I don't know if this is real or not. I don't know if it's created with artificial intelligence, but this was posted this morning at 8:05, and it says these are some of the photos from the Antarctica retrieval mission in Queen Elizabeth's Range, that it's an egg UAP, an egg UAP from another angle, hieroglyphs on the cave's wall that could mean petroglyphs, and also there was an entity sleeping inside the pod, and they showed that in these photos from 2 different angles. So there you have it. I don't know if these are real or not, but just recently on News Nation with Ross Coulthart, we had vetted and real Delta Force and Green Beret operators and Special Forces, guys like Jacob Barber, all coming forward and saying that they transported egg-shaped UAPs and UFOs on secret operations and crash recovery teams that even included remote viewers and psychic tacticians, or what they called psionic assets, that did remote viewing to telepathically capture these UFOs. And they said that a lot of times they were giant eggs, like 20-foot eggs. The same poster on 4chan released just like a couple of hours later this video footage of allegedly the same egg transported over Antarctica with a cargo lift from a helicopter, and then you can see some kind of a square blanket or platform or sled underneath this giant egg, and it is strapped up and being hoisted out. And if it's the same pictures of the egg in the cave with the alien, we have to assume that there was also a team that recovered all the rest of those artifacts, including the alien sleeping inside of that pod. So things are getting super weird, but think about it. What would you do if you were in possession of this kind of footage? Let's say you were on one of these special operations teams. You were like a Green Beret or Delta Force guy, and you had this footage in your hands going inside a cave in Antarctica and retrieving an alien egg, UFO or UAP. And remember, Jacob Barber said that when they went and captured these eggs, a lot of times, or these UAPs, they would come right out of the mountain, out of solid ground, or out of the ground itself, or out of the ocean, just like be able to phase through the solid material of the mountain and fly around. And then they would use psionic assets or telepaths, remote viewers, to telepathically take control of the alien or the craft, and then bring them down and crash land them or land them on the ground. And then the Delta Force operators or Air Force guys would go in and capture all of the stuff. So I don't know if these are real or not, or if these were created in AI, but think about what you would do if you were a Delta Force operator and you had been sitting on all of this since 2022, some secret mission in Antarctica, and then all of a sudden Jacob Barber comes out on News Nation with Ross Coulthart and does this whole disclosure and reveals an egg UAP being transported by helicopter. Can you think of a better time? I mean, I would do it. I would be like, okay, I'm going to go on Reddit or on 4chan, or I would probably just post it right onto YouTube or whatever and try to get it out. But you would try to find a way where you could anonymously, through a VPN and some anonymous account, be able to leak the stuff out. But it's hard to say if it's real or not, if any of this is real or not. But you kind of have to take these Special Forces operators and Delta Force guys' word for it. If they were the pilots of the helicopters, don't you think they would know? They would know if they were airlifting a balloon that was full of helium, which they wouldn't do anyways. They would not be airlifting a balloon or a blimp with a helicopter. They would know if it was like a heavy object or something substantial. And not only did they say that, but they said they knew that these things were of non-human origin or non-human intelligence. Jacob Barber, in his testimony, even went on to say that when he had a 20-mile transport of one of these objects, that he even had a telepathic connection kind of overwhelm him, and he got really emotional, and that it really drastically affected his life and even his spirituality. So it's pretty fascinating stuff. Is it true that we live in a reality where we share existence with these egg-shaped UFOs? And what is the pilot inside? What are the aliens that are flying these things? And do they stay inside their pod in the cave and pilot it with telepathy? And then the human remote viewer is just more powerful and takes it over and they capture it? Or are the aliens actually inside of these eggs? Like, what's inside the eggs? It's really fascinating. So if this stuff is real, we're in a total paradigm shift in 2025. We're going to have to wait and see if these anonymous posters come out and tell us the full story and who they are. But so far, we've got Jacob Barber and all of his friends, multiple vetted and valid Green Beret, Delta Force operators, and Air Force special operators, all saying that these are real UFOs and they're not human? What do you think? Let me know.
The very top of the first structure that we entered, there was almost 18 feet poking from the ice. The rest of it was hidden under the ice. Each door was the same, anywhere from 18 feet thick to around 30 feet thick. And even though these doors were that thick and that heavy, you could take one finger and push them and they would open. There was no resistance whatsoever. The outside temperature was at least 40 degrees below zero. Once you stepped inside these structures, the temperature was an ambient 68 to 72 degrees.
What about the ceilings, hallways, floors?
It was lighted from the inside, but we could not find the source of light. It was a lime green in color. The walls were lined with what I call hieroglyphics, but nothing of hieroglyphics that I've ever seen in my life.
Could there really be mysterious structures buried at the South Pole? Structures built by an advanced extraterrestrial civilization in our remote past.
Buried underneath the ice in Antarctica could well be stone temple constructions. There could be biological material, remains of beings that lived there and could still be there. It could be the greatest reveal in all of human history.
Things I find most striking is the presence of Antarctica on ancient maps, because we didn't discover it until 1820, and yet it's on maps drawn in the 1500s with great detail, which again were based on much older source maps that have now been lost to us. The astonishing thing is the so-called Pinkerton world map. It just shows a hole where Antarctica is. A Wolsey-Wooler world map drawn in 1530 or thereabouts, you find Antarctica is present. Orontius Phineas map. That map shows Antarctica exactly where it should be. There's Antarctica at the tip of South America, just south of South Africa.
And what did they call it back then?
Well, they call it the Southern Land. And it's larger than it is today, but it was larger than it is today during the Ice Age. Antarctica was a much bigger. Now, what the fuck is it doing on a map drawn in the 1500s, which we know was based on older source maps when nobody knew it existed in the 1500s? To me, the obvious answer is we are dealing with the fingerprints of a lost civilization.